Hello guys and welcome to the top cut of the Striking Vipers tournament. I'm Dax and joining me today
I'm Rain.
is
What's
Mr.
up?
Rain. Mr. Rain was part of this tournament. And
Yep.
what place did you end today?
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it, but you know what we can talk about is the top 8
Yeah.
coming our way. And first
Who's
things
our
first,
first
man.
match?
It's gonna be the number 1 seed versus the number 8. Let's get into this one. It's gonna be Rennie on the left-hand side with a perfect record so far today versus Vincent Ignacio.
Our 8th seed.
Our
I
8th
think
seed.
he went 3-2
Yes.
during the Swiss rounds.
So really coming close into so many regards, and he was really at the edge there, but making it through grit through OMW and just finding their way through. Seems like we are getting the stats of the Pokemon. We'll talk about that later on when they get exposed per turn. And in the meantime, we're gonna be looking into the rosters in just a bit. But it's Season 3, Rain.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? It's a whole different
So
scene right
the
now.
Season 3, right? With the release of Pokemon Home, all the previous Pokemon with an unavailable hidden abilities are now available or now legal to be used in tournament play. So we've got... Who do they have? I think it's another worth mentioning that Gigantamax Lapras is also legal. for
Yes,
this
a lot of new G-Max Pokemon as well, but let's talk about the rosters real quick. It's Charizard, Rhyperior, Torkoal, Dusclops, and DD Female, and Venusaur here for Rennie versus the side of Vincent as the Sableye, the Lucario. We also have the Mole Man, Hemscalp, Excadrill, Lapras, as you mentioned before, Togekiss, and finally, it is gotta be that's Scrafty. The Scrafty. I always forget the name of that guy. He's very crafty, and he's scrappy, so he's crafty. Oh, you mentioned before the G-Max Lapras might be a factor. Why is that so?
I think it's G-Max move. If I remember correctly, that's G-Max
Resonance? Yes, fancy
Puts up
sounding name.
Aurora Veil. So I think that's both Light Screen and Reflect in one.
Yeah, it's a very strong tech move, especially for many ice types. And we are hearing the action all around. We do see our broadcast right in front of us, but everyone else gonna be in behind trying to play the rest of that quarter final action. But it seems like we are gonna be getting ready to go. Good to see Rennie actually bring out that Charizard. And the real question here is, will it be the Charizard that doesn't have, that has a different Pokepower to begin with? And here we go, guys. Let's get into this one. In DD Female as well as that Venusaur to start things off for Rennie. In the meantime, Vincent can go for the Sableye and the Lapras. And what do you see coming our way, Mr. Rain?
I can see Indeedee using the Follow Me, maybe, for Venusaur.
Yeah, it seems like that Venusaur gonna be protected in this instance. The DD Female usually on a supportive role, as we hear some of the players in behind very noisy, especially Mr. Erickson himself, as per usual. Vincent, in the meantime, setting up with the Sableye. And the Sableye has been a long-term tech into the Pokemon scene. Why is that so?
Prankster really just opens up a lot of plays for Sableye with its moves like Quash, any status moves really.
Yeah, that's true. Always good to get a little bit of ahead. But indeed, gonna get recalled, and it's Torkoal into the field. Interesting here for Rennie. We haven't seen any Trick Room setup whatsoever, and usually the Torkoal needs that priority to be strong. But the Drought gonna set things up, and this has to be Venusaur looking to be a little more powerful. There's no those Pokepower. The Chlorophyll usually amplifies all that damage. We'll see if that Venusaur is truly going to be the sweeper as Vincent
There you
goes
go,
for the
we
G-Max.
see the G-Max Lapras. First turn.
The note's going to be into play. I'm expecting that Resonance to actually come online, but the Lapras can pack a punch if it is enabled in the first place.
Let's not forget that Psychic Surge is up, so Sableye can't use most of his status moves right now.
It's going to be very difficult, but the Sleep Powder now connecting onto that Lapras. It's not electric terrain, so they will fall Sleep Foul Play instead from the Sableye onto the Torkoal, but that's not really going to do much in this instance.
He really just wants to get rid of that eruption damage.
Gonna be so pesky as well. If the Torkoal can get some hits, and already gonna get a recall yet again. Rennie setting things up to go with the Sunny Day into the field, and then now he's gonna be putting his old Pokemon into play. It's that Charizard and the Venusaur looking pretty amplified with their Poke Powers. But oh, the Rain Dance!
The Rain Dance is a good move by Vincent here.
Good read, and I feel like that is truly going to be the meta nowadays, just controlling the weather. And we're seeing Sleep a lot more often than before.
Sleep Powder hits again, connects to the Sableye.
Sableye just unable to get much done after all of that. It doesn't matter if they have the
Lapras
Praxter.
wakes up.
But oh, the one turn wake up into the Max Lightning, and it seems like Sleep might not
Charizard
be.
is gone. We won't even see if it has Gigantamax factor.
It's so unfortunate. It's such a vulnerable state, honestly, when you keep swapping out in that instance. And with the Torkoal back into the bench, the Charizard comes without any attack moves. And Vincent taking a first blow against Rennie. Was it a fruitful effort here? Was it a worthwhile endeavor for Rennie to keep swapping in this instance?
Right now, it's not looking good for Rennie. There we go. We see the drought coming up again. Now it's sunny.
Dude, have you ever thought about this? You look up in the sky and you see it suddenly be a sunny day.
You
then
blink.
Then blink, it rains, and then blink, the clouds are gone. What the hell is going on by this point? And big shoutouts, guys, to Striking Vipers. Predominantly, it is, of course, a Tekken place to be. But it's fun to have some VGC right here, right now. Sure, it's a little noisy in behind.
Here's another switch out from Rennie.
And again, with a
Whips out the NDD female.
Is this a feel? I feel like this for
I think
Rennie.
he wants to get rid of the electric
all
terrain
the
here.
terrain.
Yeah.
Like Rennie has so much weather control in it now, not only into the sky but also the ground.
Yeah.
But he is truly sacrificing a turn every single time he does this. The
Venusaur going for the Sleep Powder, but misses.
yeah, those Venusaur Sleep Powders are truly the key for him to control the game. But when it doesn't connect like that, well, it is going to be Vincent's time to shine. Indeed, right now. Let's try to
Then there's the rain again.
And there is the Rain Dance yet again. How many? What's it? Rain?
How many
No,
times did
no,
it
yeah,
change
no.
already?
I was gonna say over under on how many weather changes there are gonna be into this game, including terrain. Over or under 10?
I'm gonna bet it's not gonna reach 10, but it's gonna come close.
It's gonna come close. I think we've had like how many? 6,
4?
7?
I think there's like 4.
4. So it started Psychic Terrain.
Yeah.
And then the Sunny Day came out, and then the Rain Dance, and then the Electric Terrain, and then the Rain Dance again, and the Sunny Day. I think we're like at the part 6 or 7 mark. Because Psychic Terrain.
Sleep Powder hits Lapras again.
No, another Sleep Powder, and you could think that Venusaur actually getting some really good accuracy with that. Lapras though,
Getting a good
damage.
chunk off of Lapras' health there.
Yeah, Vincent taking quite a nap with the Lapras, of course, a pretty sturdy Pokemon to begin with. And by this point in time, we'll see what Rennie is gonna have into this next turn. You can expect all that Sleep Powder accuracy. You might have something like a Wide Lens, making sure that he will actually get the connection in the first place. Accuracy being a little more important in this metagame, especially with Hypnosis and Sleep Powder being part of the cards. So Vincent right now trying to decide what he's gonna wake up into. Indeed, he's gonna get recalled instead. And here comes the
Here's
Torkoal.
the weather change again.
Sunny day! Straight away, right again. Here in Sesame Street, man. The drought gonna be back into this one. Vincent, in the meantime, still taking a nap, and Rennie gonna look to try and go for the sweep here and now. It's all about damage by this point. He has the setup, and he's gonna lock things down with that Venusaur.
Dynamax Venusaur.
Max Overgrowth might be into the cards, but I would expect him to do something that doesn't really mess up whatever is on the field by this point. We'll see though what the Venusaurs are gonna have, and the Lapras
Another
waking up.
one-turn sleep.
Into the Protect Me Go.
Protect.
That's pretty smart
We
there.
have another terrain change coming.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
Oh,
Oh, it's a
no,
Max
it's
Ooze
not.
instead. Like we were expecting Max Overgrowth perhaps onto the Lapras, but it doesn't come. The poison instead coming the way of the Lapras takes a little bit of damage there from the Max Ooze, but it's a good boost onto the special attack. Very, very important stat for the Venusaur as well as the Torkoal. Anyway though, Vincent's gonna have one guy on, and we are just recording the action. We'll be posting these later on into the day. And there you go again with the recall. How many
Another
times?
recall.
Are we gonna do another over/under? Rennie, how many times are you gonna call your Pokemon back? Because here comes the Indeedee this time. Sableye though waking on up
There's
again.
another Rain
and the Rain
Dance.
Dance. What is this game? What is this game? Is this what Season 3 is truly about? Like,
Season 3 is looking like a bunch of terrain changes and weather changes.
Can we get
Weather control is super important.
Weather control is so important. Can we get Castform back into the game?
That'd
be
do you
so
want to
good.
see that?
Yeah, I want to see that. I mean, it's the true weather Pokemon there, but you know what changes again? The terrain. That's going to be the grassy terrain
Another
here with a
overgrowth.
beautiful overgrowth connecting onto the Lapras. And Rennie's hard work pays off. All about that control, all
Now,
about
each
changing the
player
battlefield.
down to 3 Pokemon each.
3-3 right now, but I feel like Rennie
Very
does have...
equal right now.
I think Rennie has a little bit of the advantage because he has the terrain more or less in his planes. All he needs to do now is swap that Torkoal back. And
Get the rain up, then
Yeah.
maybe try to get rid of the Sableye to get
Yes.
rid of that pesky rain dance.
Yeah, exactly. And the Intimidate, not really the biggest factor here. More on the special attack side for the Indeedee, the Torkoal, as well as that Venusaur. But by this point in time, we'll see if the Sableye and the Scrafty can just basically do something about this. Rain. Rain. There's Rain.
Yo, yeah, there is. That's me.
Yeah, is
Wait,
this your dance? So how do you do the Rain dance, Rain?
I don't want to show you.
Okay.
I'd rather not.
I'd rather not. But you know what?
Indeedee with the helping hand,
Exactly.
not the switch out that we were expecting.
It seems like the Venusaur is looking... Oh, the Paspondo from the Quash! The Sableye having that tech move. Very fun to see. The Crunch right now connecting, and Indeedee will go down. And as soon as the Startle comes, it's going to be the last-ditch effort. I see what Rennie's trying to do. He's going to look for the KO onto that Sableye. Make sure that even if the Indeedee dies, there is no changes whatsoever. The real question right now is, can Vincent survive? No, it doesn't happen!
That's an Oko right there.
One hit KO.
With the help of...
The helping
Helping
hand.
hand.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a very helpful hand,
Quite.
you could say. But no Focus Sash. We haven't seen any Focus Sash procs as of the moment. Very interesting to see that neither side having that item so far. But here comes the Ludicolo. And with the Rain Dance going down, this is going to be pretty tough for our little dancer Pokemon.
I think it's also worth mentioning here that... Has Vincent already Dynamax one of his Pokemon?
I think he did early on with
Alright,
Lapras, right?
Lapras.
Yeah, like,
But if
got
this
to max.
Ludicolo has Rain Dance, he has another thing to worry about.
It's we're gonna have it yet again. That's gonna be the real problem there. As by this point in time, the Torkoal and the Venusaur gonna have that Fire Grass pairing versus the Water as well as Dark fighting. It's gonna be a little difficult here and
Venusaur
now.
with the Protect here.
Very, very safe moves here from Rennie. Gonna do both. Double Protect right now. Just buying a little bit of time. Looking to see what Vincent has in store. Fake out, not gonna connect. Wasn't gonna attack anyway. And here comes the Crunch right now. Will be protected yet again. Double up there. Onto the Torkoal. Looking to shut that down first. Overgrowth. Gonna go for the heals as well. And this does really work for Rennie's favor because these are fresh Pokemon on the right hand side.
Both players down to 2 Pokemon. It could go either way depending on how each player controls the weather and the terrain.
Yeah, we can see though that the Venusaur going first in many instances is Sludge Bomb! And the Ludicolo goes down. Seems like Rennie really having the number of Vincent by this point. Crunch is going to be desperate by this instance. And sure,
The Scrafty going for the Crunch but doesn't do much
and
damage.
then even get debuff Heatwave now coming online, and it seems like this is Rennie's game to win. I don't see ways for Vincent to really come out of this unless he
What
gets
do you think
2 crits.
Vincent should do the next game?
Yeah, exactly. I was about to ask you, but it seems like Vincent, he has the right idea, taking control away from Rennie, but he needs to realize when Rennie is going to go for the KO and when Rennie isn't. Find a way to actually put a stop to those changes. Interesting with Rennie's strategy. We're not seeing any Pokemon with U-turn. We did expect something like that, but now it's time to end it.
Game 1 goes to Rennie.
And he's taking it by storm, and pretty expected results. Our first seed showing his dominance. And well played here to both sides, but we are going to go into game number 2 really, really soon. In the meantime, guys, check out our player base. And behind, we see Rennie as well as Vincent there. But in the meantime, we'll see how this is going to pan out by this point. So Rennie is literally just in front of us. Vincent in behind. It seems like everything is good to go with that headset. We always try to make a fair environment. That's why we also adjusted the camera, making sure nothing's going to be shown. But truly grassroots here into the local scene. And Rain, how many tournaments have you joined so far in the PGP community?
So far, For VGC, I pretty much just started my joining VGC tournament this year. I joined the first one in Makati, and the second one hosted by PGP in Robinson's Galleria. This is pretty much the third Pokemon tournament that I've joined.
That's really cool. You know, it's always fun to see players actually hop onto the commentary booth as well as show that they do have some real good know-how onto this game. But this point in time, it's time to go for game number 2. Rennie
Let's
versus
see how
Vincent.
adjusts his playstyle
It's gonna be interesting.
counter Rennie.
Do you expect any swaps in terms of that Pokemon? We didn't see the Extra Gel, we didn't see that Togekiss. I would expect actually Vincent to might consider bringing that Togekiss in a few instances, especially against that Venusaur to begin with. What do you think? Like anything out of the ordinary? I feel like Rennie does have the coverage for Trick Room, using that Dusclops with Eviolite as you'd expect. Rhyperior, of course, a very strong sweeper. But his 4-core earlier on, having all that control, swapping things out, it's a very interesting take on to the upcoming meta in the first place. Vincent has to find ways to keep that Sableye alive. If it's the only one with Rain Dance, that's a real problem. That's a real problem here. Does the Ludicolo have any other ways of controlling that red? They're controlling it away from the Sunny Day. It's now time to get into game number 2. Rennie versus Vincent yet again. Will we see the same kind of result? Will we see the same
how
instances?
Vincent switches it up.
He has to. He has to make a difference. He has to make a change on what's going to be coming.
There's the adjustment.
Yes, exactly. Ludicolo to start things off as well as the Togekiss. Very interesting way to start things off in DD and
Setting up
Venusaur
the Psychic Surge with the Psychic Terrain.
Psychic Terrain now back, and we're expecting Rennie to go for that first round swap to go for the Torkoal in behind. And in the meantime, Vincent having that Togekiss, very, very scary against that Venusaur. Flying type, can just go for the swoop. It gets Dynamax, Max Airstream to go for the speed control as well. I think Vincent does have a good way to try and deal with the Sleep Powder antics with the Lapras.
Vincent.
But now he's going to do something else.
The Dynamax.
Dynamax, as you said.
Turn 1 Dynamax.
Pretty much expected by this point. He needs to get the KO, and it's the Ludicolo!
It's the Ludicolo.
So this has to be the Max Geyser, actually.
Of course.
Going for the Rain Dance, amplifying itself.
But let's see if Rennie switches out the NDD for that weather control.
For that Torkoal. We always get the Dynamax first. And instead it's
Oh,
the Follow
it goes
Me.
for the Follow Me.
Good read here from Rennie. Knows that Ludicolo is going to be starting to set things up in the first place.
Venusaur using Sleep Powder connects to the Togekiss.
Looks like it's time to take a nap here and now. And anyway, Ludicolo.
As expected, there's a Max Geyser.
Seems like it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain on the parade later on. Pata 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 poin. And it's time to dance to that tune.
Takes a good chunk of NDD's health here.
Look at that Togekiss. It looks so cute when
Sleeping.
it's taking a nap. It's like, it's still smiling. It's still being a-okay. But in this instance, we'll have Vincent right now having a Dynamax on this side. In the meantime, Rennie can be looking for an opportunity.
Another Follow Me by
Mini though
NDD.
from the DD. That's pretty much what the
I think
DD
it's just sacrificing the NDD.
to weather out the Dynamax turns. That's a good way to go about it. Follow Me as well from the Togekiss. And both sides making sure that their sweeper Pokemon are kept alive in the first place.
I just realized that Togekiss woke up already.
Yeah, he's waking up. 1 turn wake up. Very good there for Vincent. Really showing that he does have a chance at this. Even the game
There's
helping
a
out.
Sludge Bomb.
Sludge Bomb though, connecting onto Togekiss. Going to be super effective, of course, onto that Fairy typing. And anyway, here we go right now. Venusaur versus the world. But still has 3 more Pokemon in behind. Vincent getting that first blow, yes. But it's an early Dynamax here. We'll see it's going to be worth it as Charizard now.
Charizard.
Into the field. What do you expect from this Charizard? We know that it is going to be looking to play with the weather, so we're expecting solar power as many have really predicted for this season. What kind of moves do you think that Charizard has?
I can see Rennie switching out the Venusaur for the Torkoal. Then he might he could make a play with Charizard. Proc that solar power and take some good damage off of his opponent.
The thing about having the Charizard is it has that wildfire which can go for the basically the fire spin in too many instances. But does it have more behind that? The Charizard gonna need a little bit of setup, and Rennie gonna be wanting to knock it down in the first place. Here we go though with Dynamax.
Expected Dynamax.
It's a Master Ball, dude. Master Ball. Seeing a Master Ball always just like, what? Why would you Master Ball that Pokemon? But apparently, Charizard.
The shiny Gigantamax Charizard. You have to use your Master Ball for that.
True, actually. It's like yoink, my Pokemon now. Back in the day, what would you use your Master Ball for?
A Rattata.
Rattata? Dude, I tried to steal...
A Max Guard from the Charizard, though.
I tried to steal the Onix of Bruno once with a Master Ball. It didn't work, and
Why Bruno's on it, though?
Because it was Pokemon
That's a
Yellow.
good read from Rennie. Max Guard from the Max Geyser.
There's a game going on. Venusaur right now with Sludge Bomb. But yeah, solid reads keeping
and
that...
Togekiss is out of this game.
Keeping that Charizard alive, right? He was able to mitigate the damage, especially in this map, this type disadvantage.
This should be Ludicolo's last Dynamax turn.
Yeah, it's gonna be so difficult right now for Vincent. He loses, but Togekiss means there's no misdirection anymore. And Rennie right now priming himself to go for the fights into the next one. Just use the Dynamax first and foremost. Crafty though.
There's this Crafty.
Into play. Proxy Intimidate, sure. I don't think it's the biggest deal right now, but hey, it's still physical coverage to begin with. And this Venusaur, as well as the Charizard, losing out on the attack. -1 there. Togekiss, the Ludicolo rather, dropping on down in that Dynamax. And with the rain, it does mitigate some damage from the fire typing from the Charizard, as well as the Venusaur are going to have a little more difficulty, especially without that Chlorophyll.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see how this is going to pan out right now for Rennie.
So we still got 2 more turns for both of the terrain and the weather.
I feel like
we all know it's going to be changing.
I feel like the turn counter isn't going to be a big deal whatsoever.
And there's the expected switch out just to get that sunny day up.
Yeah, Torkoal going to be in to the
there's
field.
There's the weather change again.
Droughts. What a sad thing to say. It's like, hey, there's going to be a drought here and now. Max Airstream from Charizard. Like to connect. Crafty, you know, spot of trouble. It's a one-hit KO there, super effective.
And Vincent is down to his last Pokemon here with Ludicolo. Do you think Ludicolo can still bring this back?
This is looking really difficult for the Ludicolo if that's water is not into the field. If the rain isn't there, the swiftness of the Ludicolo isn't going to be into that one.
Not doing much damage.
And that Scald, it's a pretty hefty Scald, honestly. It's like 100 HP. If it wasn't Dynamax, it could have packed a punch, but by this point in time, that Charizard is tanky enough to sustain. And there you go, Solar Power gonna proc.
There's
Lapras
the
in
last
the meantime.
Pokemon here.
From Vincent. No G-Max, unfortunately, so Aurora Veil is going to be into the cards. We'll see, though, the Lapras has something to deal with the double fire typing here on the side of Rennie. The Venusaur, of course, can be a good swap, but it might be Rennie just trying to wait it out, get some damage done, and allow that Flower Power to sweep on into the next turn. Here we go, though. Wildfire.
There's the G-Max Wildfire.
No more swapping.
On the Lapras.
Doesn't matter. It's going to be so much damage. The ice typing there for the Lapras doesn't protect it enough, and there you go.
With the damage from Solar Power and the Life Orb.
This has to
plus
be
the Sun.
Yeah, so much.
Scald
how many pluses is that on that Charizard? You have the Life Orb, it's around 30%. You have the Solar Power, and there you go. The Torkoal gonna finish things off. Rennie with the sweep, taking the first quarterfinal here.
Very convincing there from Rennie.
With a 2-0. Well played to both sides. It has been a pretty exciting start here at the Striking Vipers tournament, and it's been fun as well as it's been great. It seems like we are just going to be looking to make sure that everything is fine and dandy. But Rain, what do you think about that game? What is something to take notes into the next one?
That was a very convincing win from Rennie, which is kind of to be expected since he did go 5-0 and he swept his Swiss rounds.
Truly.
But Vincent he put up a fight, tried his best.
And there you go, guys. We'll see what the semifinals have to offer. Thank you, Rain, for coming here, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for accompanying me in the cast. And we'll see who's going to be into the semifinals in just a bit.
Do we have information on the next round?
Not yet, but we'll find out later on.